A man ardently dreamed of finding a treasure and getting rich. As the time went by, he began to think that the treasure could lie in his own basement. Why not? The man grew so sure of it that he began earnestly searching for the treasure, and kept doing it until the basement was dug through and through. After that, the man started grieving. When others advised him to forget about the non-existent treasure, he would reply, "But where did I get the idea that the treasure was here? If it were not here, I would have never started searching. I still feel that it is somewhere near." No one was able to dissuade the man until the end of his life. 12. Children draw outlines of different animals on the sand by the sea. They name them cat, dog, horse, tiger, and happily play with them. And when someone is clumsy enough to step on their drawings, the children break into tears. They are sorry for the animals drawn on the sand. But then, when the children are tired of the game, they just leave everything and run home. And their creatures, cats, dogs, horses, and tigers, are washed away by the waves. 13. Once upon a time, a mighty king ordered that his courtiers compete in lying. The one who manages to produce the greatest lie would be lavishly rewarded. The courtiers strained themselves to invent various stories, but not one of their lies impressed the king. Every time he would say, "No, this does not sound like a lie. Something like this can easily happen in reality." Unexpectedly, there appeared a soldier who stated that he knew the greatest lie. The soldier was brought before the king. He was told that for his insolence he would be punished by beheading if he is not able to please the king. "Very well," the soldier responded firmly. "I am ready." "Then begin," ordered the king. "The king has died," the soldier exclaimed loudly. "The king is dead." "Stop, stop, this is impossible," the king shouted, confused. "Fine, I agree, this is the greatest lie in the world." 14. A recently born foal was afraid of everything. He was trembling. He was so weak that he would constantly fall on his knees. When the foal saw big horses that were running swift and free across a green meadow, he was so scared that he hid under his mother's belly, and from there his thin voice sounded. "Would I really ever become like them?" "Don't be afraid, my child," the mare replied. "You are born to run. There is time for everything. A day will come and you will see how you can dash across the meadow, swift and free." 15. In a kingdom there was a town where all residents were obliged to wear masks. They became so accustomed to it that they would not recognize each other with their masks off. But there came a time when the old king died, and the new king annulled the decrees of the previous reign. So the townsmen had to make acquaintance with one another all over again. And if they were unable to recognize a friend or a relative without a mask, they would try to recall what mask he had been wearing in the past. And they would get amazed at seeing how great the difference was between the mask and the real face. 16. A village joker came to the riverbank and hung a pitcher on a branch of a tall elder. His fellow villagers, who used to go there to fish, soon noticed the reflection of the pitcher in the water. A rumor began to spread that there was a pitcher filled with gold on the bottom of the river. Many people dived into the river and tried to grasp the pitcher, but alas, they could not find it underwater, although they were able to see it clearly from the bank. Once a passerby observed their vain efforts and asked, "What are you looking for?" The villagers explained that they were trying to find a pitcher filled with gold. The passerby smiled and said, "The pitcher is hanging above your heads, and you are looking for it underwater." 17. Once a hunter got lost in the mountains. Trying to make his way out of a deep gorge, he stumbled and flew down headlong, but he didn't get smashed because he fell into a lake. The water of the lake was live water, but the hunter was not aware of that, and he did not know how to swim. Having gulped a good amount of water, he managed to come up to the surface and started screaming, "Help! I am dying! I shall drown!" But the hunter did not drown because the water supported him, and did not die because it was live water. With great pains he reached the shore and saw the inscription on a cliff. "The water of this lake is live water. He who tastes the water will live long, but he will never find the road to this place again." The hunter made his way out of the gorge and finally reached his home. Indeed, he lived long, but he was never able to tell anyone the location of the lake with live water. 18. A family living on a distant farm on the edge of the forest received guests. The visitors spent the day with their hosts, admiring the picturesque surroundings and the beautiful pond near the farm. Towards the evening, the guests decided to walk to the neighboring village and promised to come back before darkness falls. The hosts advised their guests, "When you walk back, follow the direction of the pond. When you see the pond, you are home." However, the guests met some old acquaintances in the village and talked with them for quite a while. They decided to go back to the farm only when it was completely dark and rain started to fall. The villagers offered to accompany them, but the guests refused, saying that they remembered the road well and would return safely on their own. Unfortunately, they took a wrong turn and started to follow the road leading directly to the pond. It was pitch dark, so they ended up falling into the water. "Wonderful," said one of the guests as they were climbing out. "It is exactly the pond that they have advised us to look for. Now we know precisely where we are." And indeed they discerned a light nearby. That was the window of the farmhouse, where the hosts met them, relieved and happy. 19. Shepherd dogs that guard sheep in the mountains are very ferocious and have a terrifying appearance. So the passers-by prefer to stay away from them. Once it happened that a man did not notice the flock in the dell, and when he saw the sheep it was too late. A pack of angry dogs, scattering on the run to form a semicircle, was approaching him. It was already impossible to escape, and the wayfarer, not knowing what to do, just sat down on the ground, come what may. But to the man's great surprise, the dogs, having reached their prey, did not attack. Instead, they sat at a small distance from him and remained there, furious as they were. As soon as the wayfarer would move, the dogs were ready to jump on him, so he preferred to stay motionless. In a short while, the shepherds ran up to the spot and drove the dogs away. They were quite surprised to see the man safe and sound. "It was smart of you to sit down and not move. Only because of that they did not hurt you," the shepherds told the man. 20. When a candle is reflected in a multitude of mirrors that surround it, it is difficult to find the real candle. When a goldfish is swimming in an aquarium made of mirrored glass, it is impossible to distinguish the live fish from its reflections.